Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Built for More YouTube channel. So, my name is Timo,
My name is Ashley.
and today we have a very special guest, Nikki Freight.
Hey
Um,
guys.
Thank you, Nikki, for taking the time to sit down with us and talk all things Amazon influencer program, including diversification. It's been it's been a crazy last 5 days. What do you guys say?
Yes.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Amazon is always a roller coaster, but the last 5 days, we just jumped off a cliff and then climbed back up. So
Perfect.
it's,
And we're gonna get into that, but first,
yeah.
I kind of want to introduce Nikki, and I kind of want to ask you kind of like about your how you got started with the Amazon Influence Program, um, how you came across this opportunity, and your strategy to scale this to the capacity that you have been able to scale this, um, and then we'll get into what happened after that. So, if you don't mind sharing with us how you got started in the program.
Yeah, it sounds good. I got started about almost a year and 8 months ago, which is crazy to me because it's just flown by. I got started because I really wanted to get into the online space, and I had a friend doing it and I saw she was being really successful. So I just dove in head first. I mean, I was 500 reviews in my first month. And I was able to scale very quickly using the Airbnb strategy that we've talked about before. So within 4 weeks of starting the program, I was booking Airbnbs by myself, researching them, making sure they had good Amazon products, and scaling quickly that way using Airbnbs. So we're coming up on 2 years in a few months from now, and it's just been an amazing journey, definitely a wild ride, but that's really what got me to where I am is, utilizing Airbnbs to find high ticket products to review and being really consistent with that.
And that's so. Airbnb strategy is something that we have implemented, myself included, Ashley, and you guys tag team and go to Airbnbs. So is that still something that you do? And if for someone who's just starting out, so it's two questions. So is this something still that you do currently today? And for the beginner that wants to that doesn't know how to take this to the next level, or maybe they want to grow their commissions, is the Airbnb strategy a great strategy for them?
Absolutely a great strategy. So Ashley and I are doing now probably about 3 Airbnbs a month, I would say. So we try to do one weekly, and then we'll usually miss a week during the month, but we are usually getting around 100 reviews every time we go to an Airbnb. Now, we are not reviewing items that are not selling, and we're not reviewing poor sellers. We're reviewing high ticket best sellers at these Airbnbs. It is an amazing strategy, and I would say I put up at least 3 to 400 new reviews a month, and 80% of that is all coming from Airbnbs. So
Wow.
I have been able to scale. I think, let's say, I started in March of last year. So I hit my first 5-figure month using the Airbnb strategy after about, I want to say, 8 or 9 months. I was able to hit that 5-figure. It was around the holidays.
It was
And since
before
then,
Creator
now
Connections, right?
before Creator Connections, exactly. So now we are continuing to utilize the Airbnb strategy. And in addition to that, we are utilizing the Creator Connections and all of the extensions that really help build the Creator Connections business. In addition to that, I've built a YouTube channel that I'm making a decent amount monthly off-site Amazon. And so with all of those kind of rolled up into one, I've really been able to scale very quickly, and it continues to grow every single month utilizing that Airbnb strategy. So yes, it definitely still works. I would say as a new person starting out, you have to be realistic in terms of you have to know that you're going to have to do several Airbnbs before you see the commissions start to grow. So it is an investment up front before you're making that money, but whatever is your budget allows, I would say just go as hard as you can.
And
And
one of the
I
things
would
that
like to,
go ahead, Ashley, go ahead.
this always happens. I would like to add just one thing to that because, Nikki, we've done something different with this last Airbnb. Because when we were getting the
Yeah.
Airbnbs, we were doing every single product, even if it had never sold. We were still doing it. But with this last Airbnb we did, we made the mental note to just not,
Last two.
oh, the last two, to just not do that anymore. We're only going to be doing the products that have reviews, that have had sales. And we still walked away with 98 reviews with this last one. No,
I need to
yours
go.
was over 100, but
I
mine
need to
was
go to your
98.
guys' city
I left with
because
98. Yeah.
that's crazy. I think I only
Yeah.
hit 100 reviews one time.
He-
The amount of time it takes to do 100 reviews at Airbnb, it's a long time.
This is why I don't feel good the next day every single time.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, but
Yeah.
it's been rewarding and it pays off. You know, I think
Yeah.
Airbnb strategy. You know, we have. I don't think there's anyone else in this space, at least that I know, that does Airbnbs with Amazon influencer at the caliber that we do it. Right. I
Yeah.
think Nikki, you have a lot more Airbnbs under your belt than both of us, but this is a phenomenal strategy. It gives you an advantage, I feel, when it comes to high ticket items, right? You have a lot of furniture, shower doors, my favorite, right? You have TVs, area rugs, things that will be impossible to do at that scale from just getting free samples, right? Think about you're
100%.
limited. When you give free samples, you're limited to like how many of those items you can do in a day, right? Because you have to put it together, you have to build it. Airbnb, you can go to Airbnb and everything's already laid out for you, everything's already built, right? So it's a great way to get reviews of high ticket items all in one place. So great strategy, and I highly recommend if you are doing Amazon influence and you're serious about it, you really take a closer look into the strategy because it truly works.
And just to kind of piggyback off that real quick before we transition, what we're doing now, because we have done so many Airbnbs, we're really focusing on booking Airbnbs that have different types of high ticket items. For example, the last Airbnb that Ashley and I did 2 days ago had an entire home gym with a sauna and a big dumbbell rack and punching bags and all sorts of equipment that we've never reviewed before, not just furniture. So really diversifying in the types of Airbnbs that we're finding. We really try to book Airbnbs that have, saunas and all of these unique types of products that don't have a lot of influencer videos because number one, they're hard to find. Number two, they are extremely expensive. We're talking $2,000 to $5,000. So it allows you to grow even quicker when you're diversifying categories within Amazon at these Airbnbs.
I think that's a fantastic. I think that's a great tip that you just mentioned there because it is true. Once you do so many Airbnbs, I feel like the type of products that you're going to come across are going to be a lot of repeat products. So if you take the time to sit down and really look and sort through, and with Airbnb, I think you could filter like what types of homes that you want, right? Does it have a pool? Does it have certain things? You can filter out that way. So I think that's a great tip. And also there's been a big push and talk for like product research, right? And with Airbnbs, you just mentioned something very interesting was that saunas, right? Saunas are very expensive, right? Especially like the round ones, those round saunas,
Yeah.
right? Those are expensive and they're on Amazon, right? But what are you going to do? Are you going to spend, three to 5,000 on a sauna, or are you going to make an investment into Airbnb, pay a couple $100 for the night, go and review that and other products around the home? So that I think for me, I think for us, the trade-off for Airbnbs has been what has been able to allow us to make what we make in this program. So you mentioned you make 5 figures, right? So this is a full-time business, full-time income for you, right?
This is an absolute full-time income, and it's crazy because I used to be like basically a director slash vice president in the fashion industry, making well over 6 figures a year, and I've been able to like surpass that salary, match and surpass in a year and a half in this program. It's like
And a lot
wild to
more free
me.
time.
And a lot more free time. And I would say right now I'm working, between 1 to 3 hours a day. When I do an Airbnb, that's different. So on the Airbnb days, we're there for 6+ hours, but it's given me so much freedom. I wake up in the morning, I do, a few hours of work, if that, and then I go about my life and I have time to build other businesses. I have time to be with my family and to travel and do what I want. So it's, the freedom that this program has allowed for my family and I is just, there's no words. There's no words.
it's amazing. It's amazing what it has been able to do for us.
Yeah.
So now that we talked about what this program has, all the positive things that this program has been able to do for us, now let's talk about the real risks, right? And what happened. What happened? I think it was November 5th. I think it was Thursday. Don't quote me on the date. I don't have the calendar with me right here, but it was last Thursday when I started noticing what the carousels, right? So for some context, for those of you who don't know, I think it wasn't it Thursday was when we woke up and the clicks were down, right?
Friday morning, but we started noticing it on Thursday.
Okay, yeah. So
we run the daily fetch.
So Thursday afternoon, I started noticing that the carousel placements for my videos on my storefront were gone. I would go incognito mode, check different browsers, and they were just completely gone. I thought it was something Amazon was just doing. I didn't think much of it. It was a little alarming, but I was like, oh, they'll come back. So it wasn't until the next day when I saw the clicks were pretty much like almost gone, commissions were low, and videos were gone as well. So started kind of to panic a little bit and try to figure out what's going on, see if anyone else was dealing with this thing or was it just me? Because the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, I got the boot from the program or something happened to my account, right? And in that moment, you think about like the worst of the worst, right? Because there's no answers, there's no email from Amazon, there's nothing that they have told us that, hey, there's something going on, we did an update, there's none of that. So in that moment, it's really scary, right? And I think Friday morning, I think that's when you reached out to me, right?
Yeah, I reached out to Ashley first because I saw the same thing you saw with clicks just went, took a nosedive. I mean, my clicks went down 90% from the day before. So I knew something was wrong. Either there was a glitch in the reporting or there was something wrong with my storefront.
Right. And, we've been in the program now, not as long as Ashley has, but we know that this is not normal, right? We've never seen this before. And this was really something to really, it was alarming, right? So, walk us through given that this is our full-time income, right? This is how we provide for our lifestyle, our families, kind of walk us through exactly what you kind of felt during, as you're trying to find answers, you're trying to figure out what's going on. We're thinking the worst is happening because our accounts might be cooked. But yeah, I remember that day we were conversating, trying to figure out what the hell was going on, and we weren't getting any answers. So it did not feel good. It did not feel good. Go ahead, Ash.
Okay, thank
Go
you.
ahead,
So I also want to say too, I don't think it helped that when you guys went and looked at the group, there was so many people downplaying your issue. They were saying stop worrying about that. We don't pay attention to carousels because Amazon just messes with placement all the time. We all know that. But it was no, this was completely different. It was like your storefronts were broken.
And just to kind of put it in very basic terms, because a lot of people get tripped up on about carousels, right? Oh, Amazon took away the carousels, whatever. They mess with stuff all the time. The difference is every single one of our videos, I have over 7,000 videos on my storefront, were removed from the Amazon platform. Gone. Disappeared. Nobody could find them unless they went to my storefront, which that never happens. So, that, it wasn't they just decided to rotate videos or, Amazon took away the upper carousel because there's bottom and upper carousel. It was literally all of our videos were removed from the on-site platform. So it was very, very different. And it was very discouraging when you go into the Facebook group or you go into a Reddit group and people are like, oh, just work harder, put up more videos and keep going. It was not.
Meanwhile,
it was
they have
a different
500 videos on their storefront, right?
Yeah, those were the people that were answering.
Yeah, it was
Oh
it was a
my
very
gosh.
different situation. So
Yeah,
but
Lisa, the people that I saw in the group that were being affected by this, and I went as soon as they shared that on the group or whatever, I messaged them, right? And these were people that had thousands. There was a couple that had 12,000 plus videos, and their placement was just removed overnight, just like us, right? So definitely something was up. We didn't have the answer. Me and Nikki and Ashley were trying to figure out, well, what the hell's going on? It did not feel good. I don't remember a time where I felt like one, the rug was pulled out from under you, but just like your morale, you start thinking the worst. Like, damn, this is the income that provides. For some of us, some of us have multiple streams of income, but for those that have this is their only stream and this is how they provide for the family, even if you have multiple streams of income, if Amazon is the bigger piece of the pie, you're still gonna feel the effect of it, regardless if you have other streams, right?
Yeah.
But it did not feel good, Ashley, right? Because you were affected in a way that because we all kind of feed off each other's energy,
We do.
and
We
you felt
really
that, right?
do. Yes. If one of you guys are missing, God, and God forbid, both of you guys, like I feed off of your energy. Like your success is what makes me successful. That's just the truth. And it was a very scary feeling, and then really scary knowing that, oh man, I think I lost my Airbnb, like the whole Airbnb game that we had going on, and I was just kind of like wondering like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to start making some decisions here, but I didn't even know where to start. And I think that this was a good thing that it happened to both of you, though. I'm surprised it didn't
We said
happen to
that.
me. Huh?
I said, Timo and I both kind of said that to each other when it was all said and done. It would have been really hard if it was just one of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been extremely. Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys would have felt so alone. Now, my 800 muted videos is nothing compared to the thousands that you guys lost overnight. But back at that time, that was every single product in my home and the ones that I was able to get a hold of. And it just felt like everything to me. But also, I didn't know one other person that it had happened to. And everybody was just saying, it's all right, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine. Like it was totally downplayed. But inside, I'd be like washing my dishes and then I'm just like, starting to cry. Like I couldn't stop
Oh,
crying because I'm like, oh my God, all of my work, so I'm really glad that you guys went through it together. And
yeah.
I bet it brought you guys closer too.
Now I didn't cry, right? But
I
I did
did.
lose sleep at night. I did lose sleep at night, and I
Thank
want
you
I
for
want to
admitting
paint
that,
this picture for
Nikki.
people, right? Because I think you hear stories about this, right? Or you hear about people's accounts getting deactivated, right? Which is a real risk when you're building something on another platform like Amazon.
Hmm.
The effect that the negative impact it can have on you, your morale, your just how you feel, your family, because essentially we all worked years building our storefronts, building this on at the Amazon platform. For Amazon just to wake up one day and just be like, you know what, we're gonna turn off the carousels and so what? So be it. And now we're off to like trying to find answers and we're trying to scramble and try to also find alternative solutions, right? And I remember we were having this conversation, Nikki, that we're like, damn, so what do we start another storefront? Do we, and just the thought of building this to thousands and thousands of videos and hundreds of Airbnbs again, just,
It was
yeah.
gut wrenching to say the least. And I think one of the most frustrating parts for me is I woke up that morning panicked and not knowing what was going on. But then when I contacted customer service, I was told there's nothing wrong with my account. They have no idea why this happened, and they have no ETA on when it might, if at all, be fixed. So it was a lot of just being in the dark. It's one thing if your account gets deactivated or something has happened and you have sort of like, okay, it's not coming back. This is what I got to do and pivot. Or it's going to be fixed, guys. There's a glitch happening. It's happening to 5% of the influencers across the board, and it's going to be fixed by Monday. It'd be one thing to just have basic communication because then we can come up with a strategy and a game plan. But for us, we were in the dark. We had no idea what was going on. Nobody had answers for us. We went from making anywhere from $400 to $800 a day to making nothing at all during holiday, coming up on Black Friday, which we know is the biggest time of the year, and we were losing thousands of dollars over the weekend by just sitting there not knowing what was going to happen. So I think the not knowing and the uncertainty of it all, it was really what got me, because if I knew it wasn't going to come back and it was dead and it was cooked, then fine, I'm going to pivot within 5 minutes and come up with a game plan. But it was just sitting there with twiddling our thumbs like, what do we do? What do we do? So, and you and I had this conversation several times, Timo. How many days do we wait? How long do we give this until we come up with a game plan? Because we didn't want to react too quickly, start a new storefront, have that hurt our other storefront that might be fixed later. And we didn't want to just necessarily pivot when we didn't know what was going on. So it was a lot of fear. It was, ugly girl cried, you guys, like for reals, literally sobbed multiple times. It was very difficult when you are very much reliant on a platform that's making you well over 5 figures a month that just goes away overnight with no explanation. That was a hard pill to swallow, for sure.
And you mentioned something about, from the conversation that we had at the same time that we're trying to figure out what's going on, is we were trying to find alternatives, okay? And I feel when something happens, right, like in this instance, our income just went away for overnight, and you're trying to scramble to find a solution, I think you're too late, right? Not too late in the sense that there's no coming back from this, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, we've all heard the term "don't put all your eggs in one basket," right? And it's true. It's cliche, but it's very true. When you put all your eggs in one basket, when you build your business on a platform like Amazon, stuff like this will happen. It's not a matter of if it will happen, it's a matter of when. So if you're doing the Amazon Influence Program and you're thinking, you're doing your reviews, you're like, that'll never happen to me, I stay compliant, that happened to them, the bigger accounts, I'm gonna just keep doing what I do and I'm gonna be fine. Well, let me tell you something. You have a death wish to think that this will not happen to you in any way, shape, or form. You got it all wrong. And you're gonna wake up one day, you're gonna realize how this truly feels if you don't prepare for when that day comes, right? So diversification, right? We talked about this also with Ashley and Nikki when we were having the conversation. Diversification a lot of times doesn't mean that you have to go and start another brick and mortar tangible business or online business. I mean, you can. That's an option if that's what you want to do, right? But I feel like as Amazon influencers, we've developed and learned and gotten good at a skill, which is getting comfortable on camera and learning how to talk on camera about products that you like. You could take that same skill and you could take it to other platforms, or you could take it and build it for yourself, like on a website, maybe it's UGC, right? So for me, I think for us, I could speak for Nikki too, is like this was a wake-up call, a rude awakening to the fact that diversification is something that has to have priority from this point on, right, Nikki? Would you say that?
Absolutely. And, it's funny that this happened when it did, because Ashley and I were literally days before this happened. We were talking, because we've been talking for months about what do we do to build alongside Amazon? What second stream of income can we build? And we've been talking about it and discussing all these ideas. And we literally days before that happened came up with the fact that we wanted to really go hard on what we were doing well with, meaning Amazon. Ashley saw this reel that really spoke to us. That was, I don't know, Ashley, why don't you talk about it?
So this reel came across my page and it really said, like, stop thinking that you have to diversify and find all of these different things and do all the things. What you should do is just stick to what you're good at, double down on that, and go hard. Because if it does go away, you can always rebuild something else. And that really spoke to me in that moment because of all of the conversations we had and how stressed out we were about figuring out how exactly we want to go about diversifying. So, but now it didn't change. It didn't change what I'm thinking. I still agree with that real 100%. I just think that now, since I'm already making the videos for Amazon, I want to be putting product review videos over on TikTok. I want to make sure that my YouTube channel is getting all of these same exact videos. And like Timo was talking about, getting the links from the actual sellers and making more commissions off of those products that you're selling than just the measly 2 to 4% from Amazon. Right? So things like that. It's like diversifying under the same umbrella.
of content creation, right?
Of content
Of
creation.
content
Yeah.
creation, right? And I think one
Yeah.
of the takeaways that I've gotten from the people that we've interviewed in previous episodes or previous interviews is they all diversify, right? They have a YouTube channel, and some of them focus just on YouTube, and Amazon influencers just like a second stream for them, right?
Right.
They do brand direct, right, which is another thing that you can do, brand direct affiliate programs. I had a seller reach out to me. They sent me some product, and they said, hey, here's a link, sign up to our affiliate program directly on our website, and then create a link, put it on the YouTube video, whatever, wherever you want to share it, and every sale you generate is going to be, so it's the same kind of affiliate marketing, just on another platform, right, where it's not just solely Amazon reliant. So I mean, those are just some of the ways that people can diversify, and some of the ways that I'm putting more effort into building up, because when something like this happens again with Amazon, I'm not going to say if it happens, because when something like this happens or something similar where we wake up and we don't know what the hell is going on, I won't feel the effects as much. Because let me tell you something, the way that I felt that day is not a day, it's not a way I want to feel when it comes to what we've been doing again, you know.
It was a rude awakening. And I think one thing that changed in my head when Ashley and I months ago were talking about what we wanted to do as a second stream of income, I was focusing on other businesses, like completely separate from content creation. What can I do to build another business? Now my mindset's changed a lot. I want to diversify, but like what you guys were just saying, diversifying within the same like industry and under the same umbrella. So now I'm, going back over to TikTok lives, and I'm going to try to focus there a little bit. I'm gonna try. I haven't done it yet, but that's my thought. And just diversify a little bit, because I was making a great income doing that. But the difference is, before, why I stopped was because it was consuming my life. I want this to just be something I'm doing, like maybe 3-4 times a week, kind of how Ashley goes live on Amazon a few times a week, and build it slowly, not
Just make
necessarily
it
like a freight
doable.
train.
Yeah.
So diversifying, yeah, yeah, and it's like I can cross promote the products. So like I get products for TikTok lives, I can promote them on Amazon. I can do Amazon lives. I can put them on my YouTube. I can do shorts and then direct people to them with, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of different ways that you can diversify. I think like the point of that reel was, you don't want to spread yourself so thin that you're involved in all of these businesses that you're not an expert at any of them. And it's sort of like how, when Ashley, you've mentioned this to me before, when you were going after other businesses like the letter writing, etc., it like decreased and diminished your Amazon a little bit. Like you weren't
It did.
focused there. Whereas if you're focusing on the same umbrella, the same industry, it's all going to help each other. Everything I do on TikTok or everything I do on my YouTube is going to help my Amazon, and vice versa. So I think that's where my mindset changed, is that this was a big eye-opening. Diversification is not an option. I got comfortable with the Amazon influencer program because I'm making so much income. It's so simple for me. It's a well-oiled machine. But when you are reliant on another platform that's very volatile, that could go away at any minute, that is not a smart move. So for me, it's diversifying within that industry and umbrella that makes the most sense. And it's not an option anymore. And that was the biggest awakening that we could have gotten. So
And,
it's kind
and
of
you
where I'm
never
at with it.
know. What if we go onto TikTok to do our diversifying plan, and then we end up like our friends and make 30 to 50K in a month, you know? You never know what can happen. Something can pop
Yep.
off. Yeah.
There's a
Yep.
lot of money to be made on TikTok.
Yes,
There's,
there
especially
is.
lives. For you guys that like to go live,
That's the fast
you
money.
know, I think the I kind of want to talk about Rob's role in kind of what was happening also, because
Right.
he had a big role to play in like the positivity and trying to make sense of what was going on. But first, I want to emphasize the importance of leveraging these other platforms, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you are still building on a platform. However, diversifying onto 3, 4 platforms like YouTube, TikTok, right? And we're not saying like go make content specifically for them. You could take your Amazon videos that you make, and you can just put them onto YouTube. Something simple as that is going to open up the door to a lot more opportunities, right? For example, I started spending maybe like one video a day, a little bit better quality, right? So I have my lighting good, my audio, I do different edits, and because I've been doing that on certain products, I have been getting a lot more brands reaching out to me via email for a paid collaboration. So with YouTube, there's a couple different ways that you can add that additional stream of income, and one of them is being monetized by YouTube, right? The other one is the affiliate links, Amazon. There's other affiliate programs with other big box other retailers like Target, Wayfair. So there's a plethora of different ways that you can diversify. You just have to pick one and start building it to that additional stream of income. So, you guys want to add to any of that? So, diversification is important. Is the takeaway that we've gotten from? It's very important. It's not optional. That's the takeaway. That's the takeaway the lesson, right? So,
Yeah,
so let's talk about with Rob, because Rob from Oink, Fizz, really quick, because I do want to give a shout out to him, right?
Yeah.
But I really want to let everyone know the role that he played in trying to make sense of what was going on, right? He would talk to me as a friend because he knew the situation that we were in, and he would, kind of like just bring me, like help me feel kind of calm, right? Because I was as we were scrambling, trying to figure out a solution, trying to figure out an alternative. He's like, "Hey, bro, like as a friend, I'm gonna tell you, like just relax. It's gonna be all right. Look, we've seen this before, right?" And I think that was a silver lining in all this, because Rob had a similar situation with another influencer who had this happen to him, actually multiple. And he said within 72 hours, like clockwork, it comes back. And at the time, I was like, maybe how do you know, right? But within 72-ish hours, right, things started appearing again. And one of the things that he saw, that he noticed, right, he was gathering data. He was looking at our storefronts like throughout the day. He was trying to figure out correlations of what could have happened that we have done or that we did that caused this to happen. And one of the things that he noticed, I think it was, what day was it, Nikki, that said that the
Saturday.
idea list was Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
He said, check your idea list. I'm like, what do I have none? He goes, every single idea list that I saw on every storefront was updated 3 days ago, which was Thursday, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And that was the first cue. That was the first thing that was the first actually clue to like some update that happened that Amazon did. So he's trying to figure this out on his end, trying to come up with answers for us to make us feel a little bit more at ease, because he knew the situation that we're going through. So yes, Rob is the creator of Oink, and we're members of that community, for the extension. But I think what I got out of this from this experience is that he actually truly cares about what his community goes through, right?
Yeah,
So
very much so.
thank you to Rob for kind of like taking time out of his day and trying to figure out an answer, trying to get us answers. And sure enough, that morning on Monday, he sent me a message. He goes, "Hey, go check your placements." And that's when we started seeing. I think you were on a flight, huh, Nikki?
Yeah, I was on a flight and I had no idea what was going on. I didn't have Wi-Fi on the flight, and I landed and I had like a million messages from you guys that it was all coming back. So it was, it was a wild ride for sure. But
You cried on the flight.
I did cry on the flight. The girl next to me is like, okay. There's a lot of crying over the last couple of days, but just to piggyback on that too, it wasn't the idea list that caused the glitch. The idea lists are the only piece of content on our storefront that actually had a timestamp on it. So we noticed that everybody that was affected literally had their idea list updated on the same exact day. None of us touched our idea list, so that didn't make any sense. So that was definitely what signaled us. And honestly, you talking to Rob over the weekend and him really taking the time out of his day, which he did not need to do at all, to look at our storefronts and give some sound advice, that calmed me down. That's like the only thing that caused me to not have a complete meltdown, literally. So yeah, huge shout out to Rob as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
And there was other. I'm in all the groups, well, the majority of them. There was no talk of any of this amongst any of the groups from the leaders of the group of the communities whatsoever. The only one was Rob that was taking the time to try and make sense of all this. So, yeah, it's great. Thank you, Rob. So,
Thank you.
I think to sum all this up, right? We've built a business on Amazon, successful business on Amazon, right? But building it on Amazon comes with risk, comes with a lot of risk. So the takeaway and the lesson in here is from this point on, my plan is, and I kind of want to hear what your plan is moving forward, your guys' plan moving forward. I'm still going to go hard with Amazon. I'm still going to do Airbnbs, but at the same time, I'm going to be putting effort into building other streams of income on other platforms, including my own website. So where brands can visit and they can see the different services that I offer, both in Spanish and English, because I'm bilingual. Because that's something that when brands can reach out to you directly, message you directly, work with you directly, there is no middleman like a platform, right? So that's my plan moving forward. That's what I want to do. So I kind of want to hear what you guys' plan moving forward is.
Well,
Ash?
that's cool. You're gonna make your own website, huh? With
Yeah, so
your
I'm gonna well, I'm not gonna create. I'm gonna hire someone to create my own website,
Oh, that's the
and it's gonna
best.
have different services that I can offer. Right, TikTok, a TikTok video, a regular TikTok video, a TikTok shop video, TikTok live, Amazon live, YouTube video, English. Now all this is gonna be the option for English or Spanish, or both, or Amazon shoppable video. So, like I mentioned, once you're on all these other platforms, you kind of understand how the game works. Now you have the option to offer a service to sellers and brands that want more visibility to their either Amazon listings, to their website. So there's many different ways that you can go with this. Just pick something that you think works. Another thing that I started doing and kind of wanted to share was everyone right now is messaging on Creator Connections, right? For free samples. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm changing up my script and I'm reaching out to sellers that I normally wouldn't message for a free sample, and I'm messaging them every single day to see who would want to work for a paid collaboration with me. Surprisingly, out of the 10 messages I sent yesterday, I already have one collaboration to do. Low ticket product, I think it's like a supplement, but they're gonna compensate me for my time and for the video production, the video production fee. So
That's amazing.
there's different ways that you can approach this program and then content creation to monetize it, right? There's not just the Amazon influence program; it's just a small piece. Well, for us, it's a big piece, but moving forward, that's what I want. I want it to be like, okay, this is Amazon, but this is like the whole pie over here, right? So. Yeah, that's kind of what.
When you're messaging on Creator Connections for a paid collaboration, are you just mentioning Amazon or are you also offering
No,
YouTube? TikTok?
I give them I tell them what they want to hear because I can deliver, right? What they want to hear is not just an Amazon shoppable video, which is what they're hearing from 99% of the people. I'm
That's
messaging them
smart.
saying, hey, I could do that, or I got something better for you. I can make a tutorial. I can make a longer form. Longer form, I mean maybe like 3-4 minutes. So I'm not talking like 10 minutes.
For like YouTube.
YouTube, right? I'm on TikTok Shop. They love follower count for some reason, right? I have a lot of follow. I have 3 accounts on TikTok. One of them is in Spanish. I can create content in Spanish because I'm bilingual. So you're giving yourself the edge, the advantage, right? I'm leaning into what my strengths are. When you lean into what your strengths are, you have no competition because competition is, first of all, they're not even thinking about this, right? So my tip for anyone that wants to do this is just lean into what you're good at naturally, what your strengths are. If you have a presence like Ashley has you have a YouTube channel for gut health, right?
Yeah, and the TikTok.
And the TikTok,
Yeah.
you're naturally good at talking about products that you love in that particular niche. Hence why you got a collaboration that kind of jelly of for for uh for Amazon Lives, right?
Is this the
And
first time that I could make Timo jelly? Just kidding.
no, I'm just kidding. Um, but it's it's leaning into your strengths that's really gonna help you propel and give you the edge over the competition, right? Kind of like with the Airbnb stuff, right? No one does it, we do it, and that's how it's been. It's been
Yeah.
very good for us. So,
Yeah.
what about you, Nikki? Like, what is like kind of some things that I know you mentioned about the TikTok live, but I kind of want to hear like your kind of whole take on like moving forward. Are you gonna expand into like other? I mean, which is an option also, right? Into other industries. Um, at some point later in the future, I might think about that, but I think right now I kind of want to lean into what I'm good at.
Same. Yeah, I want to lean into what I'm good at too. And for me, like I see a big opportunity with just live streams in general, whether that's
Yeah.
on Amazon or whether that's on TikTok Shop. Not a lot of people want to do them. It is a certain type of person and a certain energy that is good at lives. So it definitely kind of cuts away a lot of competition. So I really think that people are going to want to shop via live streams more and more and more. Like I don't think we've hit a plateau there at all. So I do want to focus
Really good.
on, yeah, yeah, exactly. I can't remember the number, but you and I were talking about this last year about how in the US only a certain percentage of people shop live streams versus other countries. It's much, much, much higher. So I do think there's opportunity there. So I really want to do the TikTok lives again. I also want to do Amazon lives paid lives, not just where you go live and you get commission for whatever you sell, but actually working with brands that will pay you to go live with their products. So I know Ashley's doing that right now. You've proven yourself in that whole arena, and that's definitely something I want to get into. So that's one thing. Another is affiliate marketing and working directly with brands to make long form videos, tutorials, how to's, all of that for YouTube. Educational, instructional type of videos for YouTube. I'm really, really good at fitness and photography and anything creative within photography. So I want to work with drone brands or, different types of camera equipment,
So,
that type of thing, where I can put out, long form videos that teaches people and also connect that to my other Instagram. I have a photography Instagram with a huge following, so I can kind of work that angle a little bit more. So that's kind of what I'm focused on. Again,
and then,
exactly what you were saying, like, honing in on your strengths. That's really what's
right,
key.
on what do you enjoy? What do you are comfortable talking about, right? Like one of the things I'm probably gonna do is I haven't done an oil change in my car for a long time, right? But I know how to do. I grew up working on cars, so one of the things I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably going to do an oil change on my car, walk through step by step, kind of maybe show the oil that I'm using, longer form tutorial for my specific car. Um, those videos do very well on tutorial demonstration videos. This is how other sellers or competitors of whatever brands you're working for right now on YouTube or any other platform get visibility, and they'll reach out to you and they'll want to work with you. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I love that idea, Nikki. Like I mentioned, I think if anyone that's listening, you lean into your strengths, lean into what you're good at, what you're comfortable talking about, right? You already did the hard part. You already did the hard part and started this kind of journey, right? Started doing Amazon reviews, right? There's a lot of people that will never start because they, one, just find excuses. Two, they just won't get over the fear of getting comfortable on camera like we have. But it has been rewarding and scary sometimes, right? To say the least. So
Hmm.
we're coming up on an hour, sort of almost, 45 minutes. So I like to ask a couple questions before we wrap this up. If there's anything you want to add, you can add it after. What is given everything in the last 2 years as an Amazon influencer, because that's the majority of people that are listening to this. In the last 2 years in that you've been doing this, what is a tip or something that you can give them, or a tip you could give yourself when you first took on this journey? I kind of want to hear what you had to say.
Ash, do you
So
want to
like
take that first?
the you that was just
Oh, was
signed
that
up and
for
approved.
me?
Oh, I don't know. It kind of cut out. The internet cut out. I couldn't tell if you were asking me or if you're asking Ashley.
Oh, no, I'm asking Nikki. Nikki.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. Go back because I kind of missed like half of
Yeah.
what you were
So,
just.
what is the tip that you have, or something that you can tell someone who is listening to this right now? They're just starting out. They're new. Maybe they feel stuck, or maybe it's you back in 2024 when you first started, or 2023 when you started, whatever year you started. What's a piece of advice you can give them or yourself when you first started? Now that
Yeah.
experience that you have under your belt in this industry.
You know, when I first started, I had so much just trust in the platform. I never in a million years thought I could be in a situation where it could just go away. I never thought that. So when I started, and I think it's a good quality, I just dove in head first. It was like the noise, I canceled the noise. I was a freight train. I didn't like, I feel like I didn't go out, I didn't eat, I didn't sleep. I just went for it, right? And I think that in some sense, that's a great quality to have, is to really go hard and fast and grow quickly. But starting out again, I would start out just as fast, but I would start to implement these other things that we've been talking about, diversification on other platforms at the beginning. That is really important because that's just going to help you grow even faster. And I think one of you guys already mentioned it on this call. We're already doing the work. If we just put our work that we're doing on other platforms from the beginning, we're setting ourselves up to be more successful and to have multiple streams right from the get-go without, the idea of having to build two separate businesses. They're all tied together. So I think setting up systems in place so that I have multiple platforms covered from the beginning would be my top tip for myself starting out again. And I think you nailed it, honestly, Timo, by honing in on your strengths. Like, not trying to do something that you're not so like really, really good at, because you're never going to be an expert at that. But really, like, for example, Ashley, you are amazing live streamer. And look at the brand deal that you have right now.
Thank you.
You have energy. You are personable. You have other people in other industries reaching out to you because of your personality. People are drawn to you, and that shows in a live stream. So that's the type of thing that people need to really be honest with themselves, check in with themselves. What am I good at? How can I build onto that and diversify at the same time?
Now, for anybody that might be watching, they might be thinking, they're looking at all of our stories and what we're talking about, and they're like, well, I don't know anything about drones. I don't know anything about photography. I'm not comfortable being on camera or doing product reviews, right? But the thing about being on camera, this is a very important skill to learn, and it's a band-aid that needs to be ripped off. And the way that you're going to do it is you're just going to put yourself on camera. You're going to start messy, and as you go on, it's going to get better and better and better. And a little example for you, I like to help people with autoimmune diseases. If I can make their life easier in any way, I want to do that because I have the experience with that, because I went through that. So what I want to do with my YouTube channel is have like very simple workouts that people with autoimmune diseases can do so that they can have their body moving. But if they deal with a lot of pain and things like that, it's not like lifting heavy weights and stuff. It's just getting their body moving until they can reach remission. Then they can go on to the weights. That's something that I have experience in because I had to do that. So it's just these little things that you can have experience in that other people might not necessarily have. You can teach them something. And that's really how you build your own brand. Did that
And
make
I
sense?
want to say one other.
Perfect. That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you're a
No,
great life
perfect.
streamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other
Yeah.
thing I want to say too, and this is a really big tip, and I know it seems maybe small, but to me it's everything, and it really helped me in my entire journey, is literally surround yourself, find a group of people that you're
Yes.
doing this with. Like, that is everything. And it doesn't mean that you have to be business partners with them. It doesn't mean that you have to do Airbnbs with them, but find people that have the same goals as yourself and align yourself with them and grow together, because that's what the three of us have done. And Ashley, I met you first, and I remember you telling me about Timo. And once we all got connected and we started doing these Airbnbs and we started motivating each other and we have healthy competition amongst one another and we're bouncing ideas off of one another, that is so critical in an online world where we all are kind of working on our own island out here. Like, we don't have an office that we go into. We don't have coworkers. We're all trying to just make stuff happen in our houses, and it can be very isolating at times. So when you have your group that you can grow with and that pushes you to be the best version of yourself, because Ashley, you know I do that to you all the time, and I've had to apologize for being even intense with you. But like, you find that,
Intense?
intense.
Understandable.
I literally yelled at her at the last Airbnb, and I had to like apologize the next day.
It must have been on her period. Anyway, we are the Three Musketeers. That is the truth.
But
And
find your
I felt so alone before I found you guys. That's
yeah.
the truth. Yeah. I was very much
And
alone in the online space for a good year and a half. So,
and look at just this call. We've been on 50 minutes. Timo, you've already given me 2 ideas of what I could potentially do going forward. So again, aligning yourself with, what's that saying? You are the 5 people you hang out with. So it's like aligning yourself with who you want to become and who you want to grow into.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like that's very well said. And then to end this call, I want to ask one question that I ask everyone that comes on an interview, and I asked you this before, but not on YouTube. Is, given the roller coaster that Amazon has been, right, over the last 2 years, right, recently especially, at the end of the day, what does this program mean to you, and what have you been able to do because of what this business yields you every month, right, as far as like income? So in short, like what does this program mean to you? What has it done for you that it allows you to do certain things? You kind of answered it in the beginning, but I kind of want to ask you directly, and then we can just kind of
Yeah. I think that's a really important question, and I think it's just so, I think so many people look at a business like what we're doing and they're so afraid to go into it because it's risky. They don't know if they can do it. They don't have a set guideline to follow or a template that shows them that if they do this, this, and this, they're going to earn this, this, and this. And I think that fear stops a lot of people from doing something like this. And for me, it's given me complete freedom in the sense that I don't have to go into an office. I don't have a boss that I have to answer to. I can travel and do this job from literally anywhere that I want, which is just insane to me. So I can be on a beach and I can be doing edits. I can do anything I want whenever I want. And that to me is completely priceless. Being able to provide for my family and at the same time having the freedom and flexibility is everything. And I just hope that if anybody's watching this that has fear around starting whatever type of business they want to start, that they just have to do it. They just, like you said, Ashley, messy action. And then you learn and you grow from your messy action. You literally, what's the saying? Fail forward, right? Like you fail, like I honestly have had so many failures in this journey. And if I hadn't had those failures, I wouldn't be where I am right now. And so kind of going off on a side tangent, sorry about that, but I think it's important that you go after what you want and lose the fear and just go.
It kind of reminds me. Thank you for sharing that. It kind of reminds me because you were in the industry in a profession before doing Amazon full time, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were in the profession, and myself included. I was also, and that fear, at least for me, that fear of doing what I want, right? Of making the decision to leave a career behind me and jump into this full time, wholeheartedly. It's scary and there's a lot of uncertainty, but the main thing is you just start. It's going to be messy in the beginning, but the main thing is that you never quit. And I think
Exactly.
once you realize that not quitting is half the battle, you're destined to be successful for sure. Ashley, is there
Yeah.
anything you want to add?
no, I'm good.
All this?
Got it all out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Nikki, for taking the time out of your busy day, busy schedule to sit down with us and talk about kind of your journey through the program, and what happened, over the last week or so. Thank you for your tips, the advice you've given us, and thank you for everything that you do. So we will see you guys. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.